Jen has an entirely new face is literally what I wrote. You can't see it, but
I can't see it. Well, okay, a few things I'd like to say. I'm
sure,
sorry.
say
Were you,
it.
were you finished? I'm sorry.
I'm finished.
Okay.
If I could just finish, PK.
Her husband's a plastic surgeon,
Yeah.
and she found this doctor on Instagram. Now
In
that's
Turkey.
in Turkey. Now that's fine because Adrian Malouf from Beverly Hills would never let Paul do work on her.
Yeah.
But to find somebody on Instagram through Turkey, like Adrian still went to a very reputable doctor in Beverly Hills. So I thought that was strange. And she
Well,
has
and they're
addressed
so
it.
close. They're so close to New York. Like, just find a plastic surgeon in New York. Spoiler alert, there's like a million.
Spoiler alert. And
Literally.
it's just weird. Exactly. It's just weird. Like he's got to know somebody who's good, but she has addressed it that like it looks funky.
Yeah. Her nose looks like do you remember the very goofy movie when Max goes to college?
Uh-huh.
Am I dating myself?
No, I'm making that face because I'm like, oh.
But is it not true? It looks like a Disney character nose. Is that mean? I mean, I don't have a great nose, so
I
I
don't
mean,
either. So I don't have a good nose either.
say it.
Yeah, but
But I
hopefully
said
it's
it.
better. Honestly, like the pictures of her right now look fine, so maybe it really was swollen or still
Yeah.
well.
And she said her chin, she wasn't happy with her chin, and she was either going to get a new procedure or has already gotten one since. I think she said that on Instagram that she wasn't very happy with it.
She's not happy with
The chin.
the chin that the doctor from Instagram gave her. Copy that. Got it.
Correct.
So but speaking of Jen, okay, the first episode, obviously, like you're seeing a bunch of stuff, you're reintroducing people, we got a new friend up, but the biggest bombshell has to do with Jen, and it has to do with the last minute of the episode.
Yes.
And so we all know what we're talking about. If you haven't watched the season, spoiler alerts coming up, Bill Aiden had an affair on Jennifer, so Margaret was right.
10 years ago.
It was 10 years ago.
Allegedly. Well, no, definitely 10 years ago. Allegedly still going on based on all the stuff I've seen on Instagram and blogs and Dumois. Like,
oh, I haven't seen that. I thought it was 10 years ago. You think it's still going on? I don't think he would be that dumb to keep it going on with his wife on the show. I don't think so.
I don't know.
What I will say though is personally, I could never stay with somebody who cheated on me. But there are as who said it on Watch What Happens Live? Who was the guest the other day? I don't remember, but somebody was like, we talked about it, and they said, you know, it's a good thing. Or no, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It was.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Yes, I was watching all like the press about it because Jennifer Aiden did an interview with Page Six, and she did one with US Weekly, Us Weekly, and so did some of the other castmates. So Melissa Gorga on the US Week. Oh my God, on the
Us Weekly.
On the Us Weekly interview was like, I think it's a good thing that she told this story because, you know, it happens unfortunately often. And, you know, whether it happens once or twice, people in marriages, there are people who choose to forgive and move forward. And I think it's really, I think it's a terrible situation, but I think it's very admirable of her that she said in her interview, she's like, when I forgave him, I have never brought it up, thrown it in his face, or anything like that, because if I'm choosing to forgive him, I'm going to forgive him. And I stayed for my family, and I'm happy with my decision. And I just think she handled it in a very good way. And she said, she's like, yeah, when Margaret, she's like, clearly Margaret knew. So she's like, when she brought it up, I was like, I cannot turn back. I'm going forward. I'm going to give her the facts if I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Well, Marge initially hinted at it 2 seasons ago. When they were in, I guess it was the Mexico trip, and she's like hit a nerve. Remember? And it was like
asshole.
the monkey's asshole, that you suck. That whole scene.
Exactly.
So she initially hinted at it there. So the thing that makes me sad about this whole thing, I agree. I could not, like, if you want to go be with somebody else, go be with somebody else. Bye. The thing that makes me sad, though, is that all of these speculations, and there was videos and everything all over TikTok, and her 9-year-old daughter, Olivia, found out that way. And I don't know if you saw this story, but this is the saddest thing. She was like commenting on it and she was like, that's my mommy and daddy. Like, that's not true. And she went to show Jen, and Jen's like, you have to delete that because unfortunately it is. And so she had to, like, the world broke it to the kids. And I'm sure she never wanted to discuss it with her kids, never bring it up. That's their father. But being in the public figure that she is and in the platform that she is, especially with Marge, like continuing to poke at it, like I understand you're signing up to show your whole life, but there are some things that should remain private if you want them to remain private. And so I love Marge, the Marge usually, but that was just very uncool. And she's just picking and she's looking for a fight. And the way she was talking to Teresa at her own house, like one of the first things she says to her was, well, Louis needs to address this story. Like, F you, who are you? You're in my house. Like, you're going to respect me. You're going to respect my fiance, even though he is a creep.
A creep.
But like, who the F are you to talk to me like that?
100%.
It's just like I don't know what it is. I think she maybe wants to stay relevant because I don't think that she necessarily has a storyline this year, but that was just very low.
Yeah. And I've been
very low.
I've been a huge fan of Marge, but I agree. It's like, yeah, that Louis video was so weird, but it was before Teresa. Like the timelines don't add up. Like, it's
nobody's saying it's about but it's just weird because he's apologizing to his like soon to be, but he was gonna he's like, I'm gonna propose. Like, it's just very weird. And these guys in the background are like all shirtless, like cheering him. It was just a weird video entirely. If you haven't watched it, highly recommend it.
Literally.
It's very weird. And then Teresa was on Watch What Happens Live, and Andy asked her if she's going to sign a prenup with Louis, and she said no. And she was like, no, why would she? Like, you were in jail.
In jail.
Did you learn that in jail? Hun.
In jail.
Get a prenup. What? She's like, he has more than me. Sis.
Yeah, she's unwell. But that's
she's been unwell. I mean, what's new?
And wait, Andy, sorry, I wanted to see back to Jen real quick again.
Yeah.
But back more to the Margaret thing. So we saw in the previews promo for the season that Dolores and Jackie were talking, and Jackie was like, you do not want to make an enemy of Marge. And Dolores
like, no.
Like, no. And Dolores, like big bad Dolores from Patterson. Like, I just in the past seasons have never thought of Marge that way. Like, I've never ever been like Marge.
And if you think about it, her pigtails are full of secrets. And 100%. She's not afraid to use them, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's not cool. Like, I get it if you need to like if somebody's being hypocritical and you need to like make an example of it, which Jen was, because she was saying like, oh, you cheated on your ex-husband. Like, I don't like some of the things that happened in your past, and kind of like slut shaming Marge a little bit.
100%.
But at the same time, like, Jen has young children who watch the show. Like, let's keep the drama, keep the fun going without breaking up families.
Yeah.
And the Aidens aren't breaking up, I'm saying, but it's just, that was low. And it was not cool to watch at all. It was very uncomfortable.
And it was very Marge was being a mean girl.
It was mean. It was mean.
Yeah. But I think she did, I think she did a good job. She said that she's excited to see how this season plays out, because she's like, it was such a blur.
Yeah. So, and she said she's not, after Teresa's pool party last season, that she's not going to be drinking on camera this season. Or I guess in the future.
Right.
So we'll see. I'm not a Jen fan, but
either.
She brings it, and she's being authentic, and she's handled this very well. So
yeah.
I mean,
what do we think of Tiki Barber's new wife? His normal wife, not his new wife.
No, sure. A new addition to the. Are you okay today?
No.
Do you need can we get you anything?
I would love a tequila. Love.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
I like her. We haven't seen
I
a
like
lot.
her. She was, I mean, there wasn't enough to give an impression.
Right.
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, cool. Well, that's Jersey. Let's see what everybody else thinks next week, or everybody else in the cast says next week after Jen drops the pharmaceutical
Bomb. Wait, the
bomb.
exact like verbatim was it wasn't the office manager, it was a fucking pharmaceutical rep, you idiot. I think is like exactly what she said.
Well, you
Amazing.
got to get the facts right if you're gonna come. You're gonna come for
You're
me.
gonna come for me,
I
do
will
it
send for you.
correctly.